Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since we dropped here on the channel because Euro 2024 is in full swing and the Barca news has been slowing down recently, but I do quickly want to bring you up to speed with what has been happening around the club in the past few days. And I want to begin today's video by talking about Barca Athletic youngster Marc Guiu, who has been linked with a departure from the club. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, on Friday, it was reported that Chelsea are interested in signing the young striker, who was quite impressive in his few appearances playing for the first team last season, including a dramatic league winner in his debut game against Athletic Bilbao at home. And now it has been reported that Chelsea are interested in signing Guiu this summer. However, Chelsea are not the only club who are interested in Guiu's services, because it is also reported that German giants Bayern Munich are also interested in signing the young striker from Barca this summer. Now, the interest, I believe, is sparked because of his relatively low release clause, which is rumored to be just 6 million euros. And I believe that Chelsea and Bayern have seen this as an opportunity to be able to get Guiu, whom I believe is a very good prospect, for a cheap sum, because the risk is low, and then this is a player that has the potential to become one of the best players in his position. He is a striker who has been playing for Barca Athletic this season, and he has had a lot of impressive performances, also leading the team to the playoffs, where they have the second leg later today against Cordoba after a 1-1 draw in the first leg at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. Now, it remains to be seen what Barca will do here, because it is rumored that Barca are also trying to discuss a new deal for Marc Guiu. We have seen in recent weeks and recent months that Barca have been really trying to tie down some of their young stars to longer term deals. We saw it with the case of Pau Kubasi, we saw it in the case of Lamine Yamal, we also saw it in the case of Hector Fort, and just recently we saw it in the case of Marc Casado. So it is left to be seen whether Barca would be able to convince Guiu to continue his stay at the club. Mind you, if he decides to stay at the club, there's going to be a lot of competition for places, because he will be competing against Robert Lewandowski and Vitor Roque if the Brazilian stays at the club. So this could also play a part in Marc Guiu's reasoning when it comes to making a final decision on his future. Another player that I really want to talk about in today's video is Bayern Leverkusen player Jeremie Frimpong. Frimpong had a very impressive 2023-2024 season with Bayern Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso, as they won the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal. And now it has been coming up a lot in the news since weeks now that Barca are interested in signing the Dutchman this summer. He is currently on international duty with his country at Euro 2024 in Germany. It is believed that Flick is crazy about the idea of bringing Frimpong to the club. Flick reportedly absolutely loves the player, and he would prioritize a move for him this summer. Frimpong is a player who predominantly operates on the right wing as a wing back or as a wide forward, as he played most of the time during last season. Some people say that he can be a right back as well, but to be honest with you guys though, I don't really see Frimpong as a player who can be comfortable playing as a right back, as a traditional right back in a back four. Now, Leverkusen last season, they played a lot using the back three system, where they played more like a 3-4-3, and Frimpong alongside Alejandro Grimaldo were mostly the wing backs in Alonso's system. So that was a system there where the wing backs were usually very high up the pitch and they weren't really required to do a lot of defending. But coming into Barca, if Barca actually grants the wishes of Hansi Flick and brings Frimpong to the club, now I am guessing that he will most likely challenge for a spot at right back, because Barca usually, we know that they like to play with a back four, except Hansi Flick has a special plan in mind to utilize this player. Is Hansi Flick possibly thinking of employing a back three system next season, where he will be highly dependent on attacking wing backs, or if it is a system that he is considering to use in certain games depending on the opponent? Except that is a plan that is in there. Frimpong is a super player. He scored 9 goals last season and provided 7 assists for Leverkusen as part of a twin duo at wing back with Alejandro Grimaldo. But I am really not convinced how he fits in this current Barca, except there is a special plan in place for him to come, which now makes me to believe that could Barca possibly just be putting out this interest in Frimpong just as a way of mounting pressure on Manchester City when it comes to the deal for Joao Cancelo. In recent videos, we mentioned that Barca and City would be willing to do business once again this summer, but the only stumbling block, it has always been the fact that Barca would prefer another loan deal, while City outrightly wants to sell the player this summer. The player, apparently he is attracting interest from a lot of other clubs as well, but again, he has never made it a secret that he has enjoyed his stay at the club, both himself and his family, and he would wish to continue his stay at the club. Now, that gives Barca a lot of strength when it comes to the negotiation table, because the player has made it known that his only desire is to remain in Barcelona, and City would want to sell the player, but Barca, we know the financial issues are quite there at this moment. They are close to being resolved if the club can return to the one-for-one rule, but at this particular moment, the situation still remains that Barca would prefer a loan deal for Joao Cancelo, which makes me wonder if Barca are actually doing this as a tactic to mount pressure on City into caving into their demands for a straight loan deal for Cancelo. Then it doesn't really add up for me, because if you want to sign Frimpong from Leverkusen this summer, the German club have made it very clear that they are not willing to negotiate his 40 million euros release clause that is included in his contract. So that means if you want to buy the player, you have to come up with the full cash at once, which is a lot of money. Perhaps not so much money when you look at the transfer fees that have been paid for some players in recent years, but with the current delicate situation of Barca, that is a lot of money to come up with at once. However, I want to believe that this interest, if it is actually genuine as we have heard, it could be that Barca are looking at it from the perspective that Frimpong is a longer-term option to Cancelo. Mind you, they are similar players in the sense that both players are at their best when attacking the opposition, and they tend to struggle defensively. But Barca could have a plan just in case Hansi Flick is insisting that Frimpong has to be signed for him in his first season in charge of the club. It could be that the 23-year-old Frimpong could be a risk that the club are willing to invest significant money on, as opposed to a player like Cancelo, who is already 30 years of age and might not have so much longer left at the top level of European football. And if I do move on now to another player whom we have been hearing a lot of in the past few weeks, currently the man of the moment, the man who has been lighting up the Euro 2024 with the Spanish national team, is none other than Athletic Bilbao forward Nico Williams, who has also been generating a lot of transfer interest from not just Barca, mind you, but a lot of clubs, including Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United. Yeah, these Premier League clubs, they are always looking for the best players, and the sad part of the whole thing is that they have the money, they are financially buoyant, they can pay up whatever most of these clubs are asking for these players, and Barca are also seriously interested in bringing the young winger to the club this summer. I have to say this before I proceed, that since Neymar left the club in 2017, Barca have not had a proper left winger in that position. So I just hope and pray that Barca will be able to make this happen, because this time around Williams has a 58 million euros release clause in his Athletic club contract, and Barca, if they want to have any hope of bringing this player to the club this summer, it is reported that that is the amount that it is going to take. But with Williams lighting up the Euros this summer, he had a man of the match performance against Italy in Spain's last match, and I am sure that his price will only keep increasing. It might not be in terms of the transfer fee, because apparently the release clause is there, it is non-negotiable, Athletic Club just want the money. If you want the player, put the 58 million euros on the table and you get the player. But if you are Williams, or if you are Williams' agents at this point, with the performances that he has been putting in Euro 2024, to follow up a brilliant season that he had with Athletic Club, I am sure that the salary demands are going to be very, very high, as well as the agent commissions for any deal are going to be high this summer. Now I just want to make a passionate appeal to Joan Laporta and Deco. Please get this player for us, because this player is a freak. I've been hearing rumors that the club might also be interested in bringing back Dani Olmo to the club. But please and please, once again, forget about the existence of any other person that is not named Nico Williams, Luis Diaz, Dani Olmo, whoever the person may be. Please and please, Barca, forget about them and sign Nico Williams for us, because when you see the way that he and Lamine Yamal have been terrorizing defenses in Euros, man, that is stuff of dreams for Barca fans, bro. If we can get this player, I believe that the possibilities are endless with such players in our team, which now makes me to move on to players who would definitely be staying at the club this summer, because from what I heard or what I read in Football España yesterday in the Spanish media, it says that the new manager Hansi Flick has highlighted 6 players in the current team who are reportedly his untouchables. Yeah, so those 6 players are the players in this current squad who the German manager can describe that they are absolutely not for sale. The first player on that list is the incoming captain, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. I said incoming captain because Sergio Roberto is 90% out of the club at this point, as we all know. And naturally, with ter Stegen being the next in line, of course, he should take over the armband on a full-time basis when Roberto's move is finalized away from the club. The next player on that list is a player who was a revelation last season in the person of Pau Kubasi. So Kubasi is a player that Flick really likes, and he would not be contemplating his departure during his tenure in Barca, as he views him as a strong pillar in the future and the present of Barca. The next player on that list is Pedri, who is having a very impressive Euro 2024 at the moment. He has had his problem with injuries in recent seasons, but then again, it looks like he's trying to get his confidence back playing for De La Fuente in the Spanish national team. So that is another player that Flick would be counting on during his tenure as Barca manager. Naturally, the next player on that list is none other than Gavi. This player is a player that we have all missed. Personally, I have missed his tenacity, I have missed his work rate, I have missed his warrior mentality in the field for Barca. Gavi is definitely going to feel like a new signing when he returns to the field under the orders of Barca's new manager, and he is one player that the new manager would likely not be contemplating his exit anytime soon. The next player on that list is simply a no-brainer in the person of Lamine Yamal, the star boy of Spanish football at the moment. Lamine Yamal is one player who is viewed as the future and present of Barca and the Spanish national team, and Hansi Flick would be betting on building the team around him because he is a freak of nature. Lamine Yamal is a generational talent, so it is no brainer that the German manager is looking to keep him at the club. The last player on that list is none other than Fermin Lopez, another brilliant youngster that has come in from the academy, and he has shone brightly last season playing for the first team. He scored 11 goals from a midfield position and has been called up to the national team as well, currently representing Spain in Euro 2024 in Germany, and is another player that Flick will be counting on as well during his time in charge of Barca. So guys, those are just a few topics that I really wanted to discuss with you guys today on the channel, guys. And if you did enjoy the video, please do hit the like button, turn on your notification bell so that whenever there's a new video on the channel, you shall be the first to know. And most importantly, please do subscribe to the channel, because the new channel is just starting out and your support means a lot to us. Thank you very much for your support thus far. And please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. What do you make of Chelsea and Bayern's reported interest in the signing of Marc Guiu? What do you make of Barca's reported interest in Jeremie Frimpong? And would you prefer that Barca signs Jeremie Frimpong or João Cancelo for the right back position this summer? Also, let me know your thoughts about the potential signing of Nico Williams. What do you make of Barca's interest in the Spanish international? Because even Barca fans in Catalonia yesterday, Saturday, they were screaming at President Joan Laporta, sign Nico Williams for us. So do let me know your thoughts. What do you think about Barca's reported interest in the Athletic Bilbao forward? And do let me know your thoughts on Hansi Flick's reported 6 untouchable players in the Barca first team at the moment. But until next time, Visca El Barca, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.